Greetings, rollercoaster fanatics, and welcome out to a Fan Facts Park Tour, where I basically give you the 5 things that I love that you might love, and the 5 things that annoyed me and might annoy you when going to Kennywood. I also did a Fan Facts the ride earlier today. Make sure to check that out before watching this. If you want to watch this beforehand, let's get started. So while I get into this video, I'll be showing you clips of what I filmed at Kennywood. So let's begin. Of course, we're going to start with the 5 things that I love, and let's start with the 5th thing, and that is landscaping. For a very small park, this park has a lot of landscaping. It's really nice, a lot of shade and trees, and just the flowers everywhere. And what's also cool is, besides landscaping, they have tons of fountains. They are the park with the most fountains I've ever seen at any park. There's just a lot of water here, and it really works wonders. 4th thing that I love that you might love is the dispatches here. Not tied with operations, but dispatches in general here are pretty fast. All they have to do is just check your lap bar and dispatch, and they are really fast with dispatches. It's very cool to see some rides dispatch really quickly. I know one that was really dispatching quickly was Jackrabbit, but most of the rides there have really good dispatches. The 3rd thing that I love that you might love is the atmosphere at Kennywood. Kennywood just brings on this interesting atmosphere. It kind of feels like Pittsburgh in a way, and it's really nice. And it brings out this nice Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania charm when you go there. Of course, all the crowds are nice, and the employees are very happy, and they're willing to help too. I had a great time with the employees there, and the atmosphere is just phenomenal, and it really shows. It really does show. 2nd thing that you'll love is the rides there. They have a great collection of rides for only having 80 acres of land. That's a very small park, but it really has a lot of rides like Black Widow, which is a great Zamperla Frisbee. They also have some other great rides. They even have an S&S Screamin' Swing, which is really rare to see nowadays. And then the roller coaster collection is pretty nice. They have 3 classic Woodies from the 20s, and they're really amazing. Of course, Thunderbolt really stands out. The other coaster that really stands out is the Phantom's Revenge, because it uses the terrain to its advantage. Overall, they just have a great amount of rides for the families, and if you're one of those thrill seekers that like coasters, then you'll love this park because of the classics and Phantom's Revenge. Now, usually rides are the #1 thing, but the #1 thing that I loved about Kennywood that you might love is the food. There's one thing in particular that stands out with the food, and that are the fries at the Potato Patch Fries. Oh my gosh, these are delicious. Literally, I just bought the entire thing, and that was my lunch. It was great. They are great, delicious fries, and you get different toppings on them. There's different types of salts. They also got gravy and cheese, and it sounds gross, but it really is delicious. And if you're not into those fries, then try their Philly cheesesteak, or a hoagie is what they call it up in Pennsylvania. Their hoagies are fantastic, really well done. What's interesting is the employees will kind of do a little dance to go along with it while they're cooking, and it was amazing. It's almost like giving off a little show, but it was amazing. Their food is phenomenal there. So that is the 5 things that I love that you might love about Kennywood. Now let's get into the 5 things that annoyed me and might annoy you. 5th thing is lockers. Now here's the thing. They only have lockers for one particular ride there, and that is the Exterminator. The Exterminator is their indoor spinning roller coaster, and yes, they do have lockers, so you have been warned. Be careful. They will make sure you put your stuff in a locker. The #4 thing is prices. Now, it's not really ticket pricing because their tickets are actually pretty cheap. I paid about $43 for a ticket there, which is cheap compared to King's Dominion, where they're like $60, or Six Flags, which is the same way. But it's more just food pricing, but it's normal theme park food pricing, which annoys almost everybody. I'm surprised when people don't get annoyed that you have to pay $8 or $10 for a cheeseburger. So, I mean, that's just me. I get annoyed with prices all the time when I go to theme parks. The 3rd thing that annoyed me was actually, it's almost a policy at Thunderbolt, and it's not really bad in any way because it makes sense why this policy is there, but it still annoys me for somebody that has to usually go by myself to a park, and I'm a single rider, and that's Thunderbolt has a single rider policy where any single rider is not allowed to ride Thunderbolt. They do not have a median in between the seats, and you will be pushed around all over the place on that ride. And it just sucks for me because me being a single rider, I have to wait and wait. And usually single riders don't get to choose where they get to go. Whenever a single rider pops up, a single rider in line will have to ride with them. if it does come down to it, now I've never seen it happen, but I have heard if it does come down to it, the employees will ride with you, but I never had that happen to me. But I did have to wait an extra 40 minutes for waiting for a single rider to show up. And the number 2 is convenience. And what I basically mean about convenience is just looking for things. I know their park map, it was really hard to find stuff. Just trying to look, because I did mention this once on my park visit, that I was trying to look for a convenience store to buy a shirt. And I kept trying to find it. It says this exact area. And I kept going around in a square just trying to find this thing. It took me about 3 round tries before I finally found it, and it was already closed. And that, of course, is personally my fault, but still the fact that I had to, it took me a long time to try 5 things is really hard. So even though paths are kind of easy to find, some little small beaten off pathways are a little harder to find, and they're a little bit trickier to map out on the map. And the number 1 thing that annoyed me at Kennywood was operations. Now here's the thing, I went on the Monday, and it must have been a huge Monday because it was packed. Lines were 45 minutes long for most of the coasters there. And the one thing that just bugged me on 2 coasters in particular, that's Thunderbolt and Racer. Let's start with Racer, and that is the fact that they're only running 2 trains each side. Even though it is a Mobius loop, there's still 2 sides for the coaster. And the problem was that they were running 2 sides, and they're and excluding dispatches for all the other coasters, this coaster in particular, the dispatches were awful. I think they dispatched once every 4 to 5 minutes because first they loaded up 1 car, then they loaded up the 2nd car, then they pulled down the restraints, waited for everybody to pull down the restraints, and then checked the restraints. And there was like 1 employee doing this the entire time. So the operations on Racer were just not that great. The other one was Thunderbolt, 1 train of 3 that should have been running, and that was probably the worst line of the day, where I rated about 50 minutes for that ride, and especially adding the other 40 minutes for a single rider line. It was atrocious waiting for 1 car to dispatch. And knowing Thunderbolt, the trains are not too huge on that ride, so the capacity is not the best, especially when you're running 1 train. So that was my big annoyance at Kennywood. So thank y'all for watching my park visit. I hope you agree with some of the 5 things that I love and the 5 things that annoyed me. And that's what basically happened. If you like this, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more material like this. And don't forget to check out other park tours that I have done. Thank y'all for watching. And as always, roller coaster fanatics, keep coasting.